kind of crabbing along by heading up into it.
You're tacking into the current.
But that type of cross current is exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah, anyway, I'll
for
stop drifting
finding
now.
animals. So
we'll get some kind of sideways sliding video action.
it's kind of interesting that we're in this area where we had these enormous pillows, you know, for what, 30 minutes, 40 minutes or so, and then suddenly it all just changes. And there wasn't that much of a change in the topography here. Well, now we're getting a few more bigger boulders, but still it's rather dramatic. Oh, it just sort of shifted very quickly. This is another one of these, oh boy, Ramula gorgeous.
Militaris.
Militaris, geez. I'm going to just go back to Plurigorgia. I'm sorry. It's a million times easier to say.
Is Ramula Gorgia a new name or?
Yes, it's a brand new name actually. And then Scott was just commenting on that Militaris we just passed by was a pretty darn big colony for that species.
Yeah.
Especially
considering how few corals we've seen around here.
Yeah.
In the last couple minutes.
We got an anemone. Things have sort of tapered off a little bit. Not surprising. This is a more cobbly type of substrate.
Can you fit?
A bit harder for them to attach. This kind of substrate.
Well, yeah, I mean, a rocky substrate type of coral, it's not going to go down into those nodules down there.
It's just a little seam here. And
might be a little, yeah, there might be a little sponge over there.
Parked in between the crack there.
I wonder if this is the edge of the ridge again.
Yeah, I wonder if we could take a quick look. Yeah, right, exactly where you're heading, right to that guy.
Yeah. I tricked you by moving the camera, but I know what you're after. Okay, go ahead, zoom.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing.
One,
We're seeing a lot of the same things. Just
with the right environment for them,
skeleton behind it.
I think it's the same thing. I don't know if you could swing around a little bit, see the back end, see if it does have that stalk. And yeah, the dead Farreid skeleton laying behind it. Come on, make a liar out of me. I don't see a stalk on this thing.
All right, that's the end of my leash.
Well, it's attached right to the rock.
So that is a different one. So that's nice. That's Poliopogon species A, maybe.
Ship is super far ahead. You want to keep trucking?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's stop for watch change.
Like 150 meters ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll settle out by watch change, I think.
All right. Sounds good.
Maybe get one more before, but we'll see.
Okay.
I love this this cliff edge.
Yeah, if you want to just run along that cliff edge and stay on top, that would be fine. We can peek over the side. Let's see, what does Steve say about this guy? Steve says, Plurigorgia is still a valid genus in the Plurigorgiidae. It just doesn't include that species.
Look at that rubble drop-off.
Thank you, Steve. I had forgotten that. I think you might have told me that. He thinks that the only species that remains in the Plurigorgia is Plurigorgia, the genus Plurigorgia is Plurigorgia plana, but he needs to check that. Thank you, Steve, for the information. Yeah, a couple Chrysogorgids. I'm sorry, Scott, but I am not going to go further than Chrysogorgid on some of these things. I just don't know them well enough. I know those two are different, and they may not have been in that genus whatsoever, but they're in the family Chrysogorgidae. Scott works on that family too.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got some, yeah.
I'm putting money there's something behind that boulder up there.
There's another fish
Where?
Where is
right in front of us, center screen.
it? In front of us, center screen.
Oh, no, it's not a fish.
Not a fish.
You made a liar out of me. That is...
We do that on this watch, make liars out of each other. Mainly Chris making a liar out of me, but...
No,
You're just passing it on.
yeah, I've been called out as a liar a few times too on this cruise. Concerning whales, #1, and that was the biggest lie that I'm absolutely positive it's a sperm whale.
Absolutely. I bet my life on it. Oh, no.
I needed to crawl back to my sponges and hide under one of them. After that.
A whale-agorgia.
There's another, is that another black coral?
Could be another black coral there.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing, another Chrysopathes.
Oh, another stocked sponge here.
Where? Oh, off in the distance, yeah. This is a smaller version of that same genus. This is a Caulophacus as well. It's not a monster.
Is that 'cause it's
Jurassic
young or 'cause
Caulophacus.
it's,
No, but it's
different?
it's getting there.
Yeah, it's a different species in that
inbreeds?
genus, but it is a Caulophacus.
Does it have a basket star associated with it?
Yeah. This is called Caulophacus calodiscus, if I remember right. Again, if you can zoom on those things that are
Oh,
attached
yeah.
to the stem.
More?
Oh.
These
That's
are
interesting.
Yeah.
these are hydrozoans. Tubularids is the family of these hydrozoans.
Are they
Huh.
eating the sponge, or are they just using
No.
it as a lift point?
Yeah, lift point.
Cool.
They just, those are their stalks. They just attach the
Oh.
long
If you could
stalk.
get even closer, these things are really beautiful.
They are, yeah.
That's all I got.
Try to move a little closer, but I don't know if I got much.
That's an interesting strategy attached to the
Wow.
the sponge stalk with your own stalk.
Yeah, that looks like part of the sponge.
All right, I'd like to move along now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just seeing if we had a better ID for these things, and we
there's
really
shrimp.
don't. It's just the family tubularity.
Oh, that's pretty.
Oh, coral over to the left.
Oh, we're cruising now. Well, you can see from Argus, you can see actually looks like wave pattern or current pattern on the bottom. Like it almost looks like it's got some sedimentation pattern.
So Scott France has a little more information on this Romulogorgia, and it's a new genus within the Chrysogorgia, which we've been talking about. So it hasn't changed since the old days, i.e. before 2021.
That's the old days.
And he mentioned that, as Steve noted, Plurigorgia is now in its own family, but it does not include this species. He also mentions that there is another new genus called Aurogorgia in this family. Yet another reference to a gold skeleton. The auro is sort of I guess Latin for golden type of a thing. And it's found off of Tasmania.
Oh, interesting.
So
Probably different ocean.
yeah, so there was a revision of this family. Thank you, Scott.
There's
I really
another
appreciate
big
that.
sponge,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if I can do a quick drive-by on that, but we'll see.
Oh my God, there's
That's
another
a
one of
large
these
one.
Jurassic sponges.
Yeah, I'll do a quick drive-by. I don't think we'll have enough time to spend some time, but we'll have a look.
Oh, it's way up
They
there.
should
in the water
have
column.
had one of these in that Jurassic World, sequence, with the mosasaur down there.
I think so, but a slow motion
Let's leave some
filter feeding
suspense here.
death for something would, I don't know,
Could you
stretch
zoom
it
in,
out
please?
for a long movie.
We'll leave the top for as some suspense.
Oh, nice, Trevor.
Where's the music, or is it a drum beat? Should we have
Uh-huh. Yeah, what is the music for this?
So this stock, it doesn't have really living tissue in it. It's not filtering. And now we're getting up to
Oh, beautiful.
the head.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's another one of those squat lobsters. They thought the coloring, the white squat lobsters, there's another one in the upper part there too.
Is this also Colophagus, Chris?
Yep. This is color. And if you come around, I'll bet there's a sponge-eating sea star in it. That little arm sticking over the rim.
Right on the top there.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that what
right on the
that is?
top. Maybe. I'm going out on a stalk here.
You want to do
Oh,
a half zoom on Argus?
Oh.
It does look like it's wedged in there doing something important. And
Yeah.
it looks quite chunky.
Oops.
So that sea star, I'll bet, is something that's, is that Pythonaster? Pythonaster is known to, I think it's known now to be a sponge predator.
Cool.
Interesting. It does look quite happy, doesn't it?
Yeah, if he's eaten it, he's set for life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Would it grow faster than it can eat it?
The sponge?
Yeah, would the sponge grow faster than the star can eat it?
Yeah, I think so. That star can't eat it that quickly.
Cool.
Can you
Oh,
zoom
that's
that
cool.
star even a little bit more? I'm not so sure it is
That's all we got.
Pythonaster. Oh.
I can come back
It's,
to
That's
the star.
all I
Wow, that's
got.
spectacular.
okay. It's possibly not, it could be in a group that's called Henricia.
So
Looking at it,
currenty here.
So it may not be eating the sponge. Also, I don't see any damage to the sponge. So he may
There's
be
more than
just
one?
using it as a perch.
Looks like
Yeah,
there's
there's
two.
There's
another
more
one.
than one.
Oh, yeah.
Inside it there.
Yeah.
I'm leaning more toward Henricia, that particular one, just by the texture of the arms and the body. Let's see. Oh, I didn't even look at that. I was looking at the sea star, but Scott was
thanks.
looking at the shrimp, and he said that he thought it was carrying eggs on the.
I didn't even look.
Yeah, I didn't even. He said these would be embryo. Well, he said they'd be embryos, not eggs, but.
Going on, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way.
And Asako's back. She says, now back to nature, not books.
There's a fish in the water column.
Oh, yeah.
That center.
Yeah. If we could take a look at it. I don't know if we
Where are we
can.
looking?
Down below. It's
Oh,
just
this
about to go
little
down.
Oh,
Off
yeah,
the
okay.
screen. There he is.
See how we got.
I'm going to go out on a limb from here and say this is Basozetus, but let's take a look.
As I center it up, you can zoom. If I ever manage to center it up, you could zoom.
We're looking at the head. Yeah, I'm going to go with Basozetus. I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
Where are you going?
That's a,
Come back.
This is the first time we're seeing quite a few fish.
yeah, I know.
This must be that diverse habitat. They've got some sand areas, they've got some rock areas. It's not just all consolidated rock.
Yeah, it's been a very fishy dive. It's good.
Now we need one of those puffy little angler fishes to top it off.
Yeah,
I love
I'm
those
sticking
things.
with Basozetus. At least that's what we've always called Basozetus on the advice of Bruce Mundy, who recently retired from NOAA Fisheries here. Beautiful images of that, so should be able to get some good stills.
So what makes that form, that eel-like form, so efficient at depth?
Downslope
It
a bit
seems
here.
like that is the optimal form for a lot of the fish down
Do you
here.
mind if I step the ship in west so that we're not pulling him too far off
Yeah,
this?
Roger.
I think it has to do with it being energy efficient or something, but I don't know. Trying
Yeah.
to remember
Bridge
what I
nav.
used to read about these things.
Can we get a 20 meter step 270? Thank you.
It's sort of a well-known fact that a lot of deep water fish have that eel-like body form.
Yeah.
So there has to be an advantage to that down here.
What do they mostly usually like prey on or eat? Those type of deep sea fish.
That what, excuse me?
Oh, sorry. What do they usually like eat?
Those guys, well, I don't know. I mean, they're probably some type of predators, maybe eating the shrimp in the water column or the small
Yeah.
crabs, I would guess. But honestly, I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting.
Do they ever catch any of them and do the stomach analysis, or they're just too hard to catch at this depth?
I think they're pretty hard to catch, but you know, now you guys have got me doing an internet search again.
We need the power slurper for that.
Power slurper.
Yeah. So Chris Agorgidae in the lower right-hand corner of the screen.
Ophidiid fishes consume benthic invertebrates, primarily small crustaceans, shrimps, amphipods, mysids, and crabs and worms. Small fishes such as anchovies as well. Leparids and ophidioids from the Japan, Kermadec, and Mariana Trenches have been observed eating crustaceans. I guess my guess was reasonable. I was kind of saying.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
What's that sponge on the right? That's a sponge, right? Roselidae.
Yeah, what can we take a look at this sort of?
Yeah, on the right.
Yeah, that guy.
Sounds good.
Gonna be
Come down and delta.
Walteria.
What's
That's
the
gonna be
genus on that?
What's that?
Genus is what?
Walteria. It's a unstocked euplectellid.
Euplectellid. That's what I was searching for. Those are my favorite glass sponges, I think. They're really cool.
They're really quite distinctive and quite unique.
Is that a coral you said, Chris?
It's a sponge.
Sponge.
Yeah, a glass sponge.
Glass sponge.
This is kind of
Okay,
sort of a
zoom in,
hybrid
please.
between a hard and a soft sponge.
Looks like spiky.
Yeah, those are called lateralia. And then there are little hydroids that live on those projections too.
I've
That
got
is-
more zoom if you want it.
Yeah, please.
Okay.
And we're going to look at the holes if we can. And so this particular Walteria is going to be called CF, or close to Walteria leucarti. And that's on the basis of the round holes in the side, believe it or not.
Little dead tip.
Yeah, it is.
Huh.
Little hydroids or something growing off of the
Yeah.
tip. That's the guy right there.
Got it. Thank you.
Is that the type of sponge that sometimes has the shrimp that lives its entire life inside the sponge, or is that?
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, where they can't even escape.
Yeah, that's something that's called regadrella, or the glass, what do they call them, baskets? But there are shrimp and animals in here that are too big to go out of those holes too, so they get trapped in here.
Yeah.
But
Fascinating.
the one that's known is in sort of this other Venus, what do they call it, Venus?
Flytrap.
do they call those? They're kind of tube-like, and they have a little plate on the top of them. They're not narrow and pointed like this.
Oh, okay.
But it's in the same group. It's very closely related.
It's mesmerizing how transparent it is.
Yeah.
Just you can really see the crystalline structure of it. When the light plays off of it.
And the organisms inside of it.
You know, it's kind of funny. It would seem to me that we ought to see some skeletons of this guy, and I think only one time we ever did see some dead ones, but it's
probably just so wispy it just can't sit on the bottom. The current would just carry it away.
yeah, maybe there are these little graveyards of
Yeah.
these things, wherever the current sets them.
Oh, what's that? That's
There's
that
a
little coral.
coral, yeah, on the rock there. If we could take a
Yeah.
quick. I think it's going to be another primnoid again, maybe another Narella. Just talking about dead Walteria, that might be one right there
Yeah,
to the left.
it might be. It kind of looks like it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I think that's Narella, all right. I think that's good. Maybe take a quick glance at that dead sponge to the left, too, after this. And
Is
part of
something-
it looks like there. That may be where it was attached and it fell off from there.
Oh, yeah. The sponge.
Yeah, the sponge.
Okay, come wide, please.
Is there a common name to the Walteria?
No, I'm afraid. Walter's sponge? I don't know.
One of our viewers, Lisa, I think she's referring to this sponge, wedding sponge.
Yes, she is absolutely. She's not referring to this sponge, but
Oh.
she's referring to the sponge that we were just talking about. That have those shrimp that get trapped in it for life, and the shrimp are all white. And it's a known species of shrimp.
Oh, okay.
And I can tell you what that is, I'll bet, because I'll bet it's right in this gallery here. Let's see. Where are our cute little, I know there's a picture in here that show those shrimp married for life.
Mm. Jason notes that a white sea star called Henricia was observed eating Walteria sponges on several occasions.
Oh, well, thank you, Jason. I probably forgot that. I mean, that would be the main reason why it was there. So,
It's another bamboo coral in front of us.
Yeah, we can zoom in on the bamboo
yeah,
coral, please.
if Scott's Scott is still looking. All right, Scott, here's your bamboo.
Is it moving?
It's drifting in the current.
Scott, it was a Dictyolis that had the shrimp in it. Maybe that's why I can't seem to find it right away. I'm going to go look up in that group.
All right, thank you.
Let's see here.
I'm supposed to pass along the message, thank you from Steve, and everyone looked professional and amazing. That was his words. I wasn't allowed to say fabulous, but he said you all looked very professional. Thank you very much.
We are professional.
Thanks.
We're Team Sponge.
Well,
Kai.
speak for yourself. That's not the persona that I normally project.
Team Sponge?
No, I know, sorry.
But you're the Sponge King.
It's the professionalism. I'm not sure. Ooh is really professional. Do you
Yeah,
think?
yes.
Are you kidding? Yeah, that's professional.
Oh, okay.
Maybe for a football game.
This is as exciting as a football game, maybe more exciting. Oh, the silence in the
think
crowd.
so.
I think I hit the wrong audience.
No, I agree. I was just unmuting myself. And I went to football games in college.
That's some interesting sediment. It looks pretty soft
Yeah, very
and
squishy.
A lot
sandy,
of sand.
So when this is sand,
white sand.
is it completely just like beat up rocks and small tiny micro rocks? Is that what kind of sand, or is it more detritus animal mud sand?
Chris is busy trying to find the
Yeah,
entrapped shrimp.
Well, I'm going to find the shrimp. I was looking for the sponge and I can't find it, but now I'm going to go for the shrimp. The other way of finding this stupid thing. Let's see, where is it? See, that's professional, don't you think?
There's an anemone,
So, yeah.
anemone in the sediment.
God darn it. This is an
All right.
exercise
Oh,
in
no.
Can you
frustration.
zoom in, please?
Yes.
You might have to ask a geologist,
All
Trevor.
the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, what is
Ooh.
this?
So the question here is whether this is the kind of sediment that we
number?
have up top
Do
from,
this. Oh, sorry. Okay.
It looks like there's some little holes in them.
or is
in that
this
sand.
detritus
It
from
hurts
above?
to look.
I'm sorry. I bumped the auto depth button. That's not the right
I think
button.
we might have to wait for the geologist to answer that question fully.
But the biologist, you were saying that this kind of environment's better for fish, right? Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yeah, the thicker sediment, because there's things that live in the sediment and they can actually detect them. A lot of the deep water fish, I think, have these modified filaments and whiskers and things that are able to probe and taste essentially things that are down in the sediment. That's my
Do you
sense.
think they can feel the vibrations with them?
They could, yeah, that could be that. The movements.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a really good thought there. That maybe that's what they're doing. I cannot find
Trevor's
this
question
stupid
here
shrimp.
is is that sediment from same kind of genesis as sediment near the surface, or is this marine snow, or is this like fine sediment that drifted down from above? Where did this sand come from?
Yeah.
All the above?
Well,
Is it parrotfish poop?
no, but
Don't be ridiculous.
And it has
So
those ripples.
Parrotfish can create quite a bit of sand.
Yeah.
I think there's some diatoms in here and things that are just died and that are falling down, sort of marine snowish, I guess,
Wow,
is in here.
that's a lot of snow.
We're so far away from a sediment source except for well, there's the top of the guyot itself, which,
Yeah,
but then where does the top of the guyot get the sediment from?
from the old coral that's crushed up there.
Yeah,
That's
so
all ground up animal and not geology.
well, yeah, that's true, because
Well,
if it
sand
was
is ground up
if it was
animal.
carbonate sand, it is animal. So you're right, Trevor.
Interesting.
So I'll bet that's it. Maybe it's
That's limestone. From the
Yeah, you can get all kinds of. I mean, beach sand is, of course, shells, but also rocks and combinations thereof.
You know, Trevor, I'm getting hard enough questions from the viewers. So you don't have to join in with them.
You can ask me questions about the ROVs that I don't know. That'd be fine.
Well, the viewers are helping answer some questions to Lisa. It seems like Lisa is a long-time viewer too.
Well, so what does
And
Lisa say to that question?
She
Oh,
did the
Venus flower basket.
yeah.
Euplectella aspergillum. Thank you. Whew. All right, I'm going to see if I know that's in our gallery somewhere. I just couldn't remember it. It's over in the Marianas, I guess, is where we saw it. Thank goodness we got some viewers that help us out here, for goodness sakes. This is ridiculous. I can't. All right, Euplectella. We don't see very many of that genus, or we don't have very many of that genus that we've encountered.
Well, this is looking pretty biologically barren from up here. Not much substrate to attach to, and on the view we're kind of in a big plain between two raised features.
Okay, this is going to sound really stupid. We do not have this sponge in the gallery. You know where we have the sponge?
No.
Well, I don't know if it's this one, but I have a specimen of Euplectella at home that somebody gave me as a gift.
Oh.
But it's not, I don't think it had the shrimp in it. It's a shallower water one, I think. But maybe they, I don't know. I could swear that we saw those shrimp.
Inside it?
Yeah, inside of it. Maybe we've got it. We got it in a shrimp gallery. Anyway, I want to look at the video. I'm tired of shrimp and things.
Well, there's not much to look at the moment, at least biologically.
Well, this is a manganese nodule field.
This
That's kinda
is.
interesting.
It sure is, yeah, wow.
So
If you were, I mean, you won't do this, but if you were to take a scoop and you scoop along here, this is, you'd see just a thin layer of these nodules, and then it's sand under there. You just scoop them right up. It wouldn't surprise me if Beth does that on her watch. Just gets that scooper. And which I think is pretty soon. They're going to be up here.
yeah, so why is there nothing attached to that big old nice rock
Really?
up there to...
No.
Oh. All right, folks, we're going to have a watch change here, so we're going to pause for a bit. And you are about to enter the world of microorganisms for 4 hours.
Yes. Hui huakai, over and out.
And you're
Team
going to get Steve Oskovitz here too, so you're going to get a real coral guy, not a
Ooh.
sponge guy for a change.
No more sponge wormholes.
Yep.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, aloha, good evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Next team is up.
The spec
Got a new nickname now. It's pretty good. How are you guys doing in the back row there?
Yeah, looks like we're all set up here.
We're getting there.
All right.
Settling
Okay,
in.
cool.
Roger that.
Check, check.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right, I think we are settled with our microphones on. Welcome to the 8 to 12 watch here in Hawaii Standard Time. As we settle in and ground ourselves in our next few hours, we're going to take some time to go radio silent. We'll be conducting a private ceremonial protocol that acknowledges and honors the biocultural resources that are present and that we're interacting with and impacting. We will be back on SPL shortly. At this time, I'm going to invite everyone in the control van to mute your mics.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you might be watching.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in from around the world. Again, this is our 8 to 12 watch. We're carrying on after the Hui Hua Kai, the team sponge from 4 to 8. Got some work to live up to.
Yep, leave it to us to get competitive with our shift names. Front row, Rennie, do you mind
Yes,
zooming out high pack a little bit so I can see where we are?
sure thing. Jess and I are doing some math on surface time.
Thank you. Okay, where are we? Yep, that's where we are. There.
So,
And no, we do not have a watch name. That may be a project for our blue water tonight.
Oh, I like that idea. All right. Steve, I'm going to suggest...
okay, yes.
Sorry, Rennie, I'm conferring with Steve. Hold on one second.
Okay, yeah. Conference.
Jeff, can you give us a quick underwater weather report?
Oh, me? I thought you said Jess. Like it's dark and cold. Probably about what, 2 degrees centigrade?
That's about right.
Funny, you know, depending upon the depth, it's usually about 2 degrees centigrade.
Mm-hmm. Good guess.
Hey, shucks, you guys. You know, I was doing a little bit of reading this afternoon, and I came across this quote by Epeli Ha'ofa. Would you guys mind if I read it out loud?
Yeah, can you hold on 1 second so that I can give Rennie a ship move? Yeah, it's fine. Thanks.
Yep, ready up here.
Okay, you can zoom in just a little bit,
Sure.
please.
By the way, we think we have just over an hour,
Just over an hour. Okay, great.
but that last 5 or so we'll be sorting out our weights and all that.
Okay.
10 minutes.
So what we were thinking is if we try to have like a almost due south, a little bit to the west, to kind of be on the steeper part of this area, might end up being a little bit downslope, which I know isn't great for Herc maneuvering. So
yeah, we've been going slow enough that I think we can still get a bunch in sight.
okay. Yeah, so something like that looks great.
Yeah, okay. Given that Argus is on the wrong side of Herc right now for what we want to do, I think just due south for a little.
Okay.
See how that goes.
Yeah, I think we'd have, I'm attracted by the steepness of that area there.
All right, I'll go 100 meters south.
Rog. Great, thank you.
Sure.
All right, please, Kalama, tell us.
No, I mean, I just been thinking about, like, you know, our cultural identity and stuff like that. And we've been here out in the ocean and had the ability to just, you know, be doing our dives here and there. So I was opening up this, sort of research paper, and then I think this is pretty appropriate, but the quote is from Epeli Ha'ofa: "As the sea is an open and ever-flowing reality, so should our oceanic identity transcend all forms of insularity, to become one that is openly searching, inventive, and welcoming. In a metaphorical sense, the ocean that has been our waterway to each other should also be our route to the rest of the world." I don't know, that sounded kind of cool to me.
Yeah.
Just wanted to share.
Ocean is an invitation.
For sure.
I think where did this come from?
This actually came from Emma Case's thesis.
Okay.
And it's called Kahiki Keola: Ancestral Memories and Migrations in the New Pacific.
All right.
Yeah, but she's citing the late Epeli Ha'ofa, and I thought it was really cool. I just we remember we were reading his reading Our Sea of Islands and stuff, and just talks about like but not how the ocean sort of divides all of these smaller sort of islands and stuff like that, but more so how the ocean like actually like pushes out against those boundaries to actually connect us all.
Right.
You know, we all come from the ocean and stuff like that. So it's been a cool reminder for me, like how we've been able to all come together and stuff like that, share our stories, and just like, so yeah, I don't know. I hope that was appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mix
Thank
it
you.
up a little bit. Thank you guys.
Yeah, the ocean is our connective tissue.
For sure.
All right, so what are we looking at here? We are on a little slight hill surrounded by some probably thin sediment with little tiny manganese nodules everywhere in the field of view. We're currently working our way in a mostly southward direction on a flank of the Don Quixote Seamount, northeastern flank of the Don Quixote Seamount, which is in the northern extent of the area that we're doing our research in here on the Lua Ea Ahiki Kapapaku expedition. And it is one of the larger, I think the largest seamount in this region that we're exploring. So we'll be doing another dive here, hopefully, before some bad weather is going to chase us away for a little bit. So we've got another hour or so of dive time for today's dive. See what the seamount holds for us.
Exciting, and it sounds like it's been a pretty successful dive so far with sample collecting. Do we even have any spaces available still?
Yes, there are still spaces in the front porch bio box for the mineral crust microbe project. So we'll see what we find. Well, we got lots of rocks. I think a couple biological samples. Still got room for some more eDNA samples for the water project. So if we find some high density animals, we'll try to get some of those. All right.
Do we know how the seamount got its name? The Don Quixote?
I do not know. I don't know the
great
history
question.
of that. Yeah, we'll try to look that up.
Or maybe someone out there would like to.
I think it's the name of a ship. A ship that was passed through here, I think. Somebody mentioned it in the chat a bit earlier.
Okay.
Yep. Perhaps a survey ship or a sailing ship.
Hopefully it wasn't due to some feigned aggression towards a mirage.
Although those cloud formations tonight sure were island-esque.
Mm-hmm. So as always, a thanks to our viewers online from around the world. See some in the chat, both our Science Portal chat as well as our Nautilus Live message box. In case you missed it earlier today, we did a Next on Nautilus broadcast from the ship where co-lead Chris Kelly and myself and Andy Collins and Kalamaehu talked a little bit about what we're doing on this expedition and answered some questions. You can find that on the nautiluslive.org website as well as the Nautilus YouTube channel. Get a chance to hear a little bit more about what we're doing if you haven't already been immersed in the science of this expedition yet.
And then if you'd also like to, we also have the, I'm not too sure about the schedule, but I believe you guys checked the availability for our ship-to-shore interactions. Some of our science communication fellows and other ship members, we have opportunities to meet with communities and schools across the world via Zoom. These come at no cost, and I think they run about half an hour. So yeah, please feel free to join us and talk story.
Yeah, thanks for plugging those. We do have pretty limited spaces available remaining. However, if you are in the Hawaii time zone, chances are much higher that we can find spots for you. So especially a plug for any Hawaiian educators or learning communities, please consider signing up for those ship-to-shore interactions. You can find the link under the education page on nautiluslive.org. And those are available in Olelo, Hawaii as well. We're looking at a little coral there on the rock in the lower left.
Oh yeah, a little tiny one. If we could maybe get a partial zoom on that. Good eye, thank you.
Sorry, you guys want to zoom on this guy? Is that the... Yeah, well, we wait, I suppose. Go ahead, Jeff. Go ahead and give us a peek of what this guy is. It's like an anemone.
Yeah, it looks like an anemone.
Is it a burrowing anemone?
Stand by.
You can usually tell if it's one of the tube-dwelling anemones if you can see two rows of tentacles. They have one row of tentacles that's fine and close to the center of the oral disc, and then one larger row of tentacles on the outside. Couldn't quite make out what was going on there, though.
Go ahead and come there wide, please.
We're starting to be on the move again now that the ship is on the way and pulling Argus along, and Herc is keeping up. Oh, can we zoom in on this feature right here?
Yeah, sure thing.
That looks like a, what do you call it? A whale, one of those diva studies.
Go ahead, Jeff.
It's like a fossilized whale bone.
Really?
Oh.
Seriously?
Yeah,
it looks really weird, right?
She studies them in the CCZ. Others do too, right? That's it's
like
a part of a whale.
Beaked whale?
A beaked whale.
Yeah.
And then it gets covered in these manganese oxides.
What?
Wow. I would
Wow.
like to request collecting this if we can.
Sure, yeah,
Is that
for sure.
So cool.
Full wide, please.
for the microbiology purpose of understanding if the mineral crust is
I know
different.
that marine mammal items have very different designations, so I would want to clarify that.
Then let's just mark that we saw it in the video, because I think that scientists will be interested in knowing that.
I know when we sampled whale bones off of the marine sanctuary off the west coast last year, we had to go through a separate permitting process.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't want to jeopardize that in any way. So, but if that is what this is, that's a really interesting connectivity to the
no, I
CCZ.
didn't know they left. Yeah, well, I'm conflicted now, but you know, I totally think we should do the right thing.
Yeah, I would rather approach cautiously. But that definitely is what that looks like to me.
Very cool.
I'll try to pull up the paper from Dr. Diva Amon about this work in the CCZ.
Yep.
For those who don't know what that acronym stands for, the Clarion-Clipperton Zone is a region to the east between Hawaii and the United States, Mexico, that is an area with very abundant manganese nodules. And it's been an area of increased study over the last few years because there's interest in potentially mining manganese nodules in that region. And so there are scientific studies being conducted to understand.
All right, full wide there, please.
See if there's the area. Very cool.
Yeah, super cool find.
I didn't know they left skeletal remains like that. That's really weird.
Do you think there's any more around here?
Yeah, I think I don't think it's necessarily a high density kind of item.
Yeah, I know everywhere we go, we always tend to see one or another of these beaked whale scours. We saw them in the Atlantic, we saw them in the Pacific, we see them all over, and we never really know what they're doing. You know, whether they're foraging for something, or is it some sort of behavior where they, you know, clean themselves against the sediment surface or something like that. It's always very odd seeing them. You know, sometimes they're fresh, sometimes they're older, but I've never actually seen one of these animals live. And it's pretty, well, that's the first evidence of them that I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, and I think, if I remember correctly from seeing Diva present on this research, by seeing that they're coated in these manganese rinds, and if you can have an idea of how thick those are, it gives you also an idea of how, so kind of like a time clock of when those species were in that area.
The bottom left corner of the frame has Mongo. Can we get that out of the frame to, something?
Yeah. Sorry, we're holding in coral.
Oh, you're holding it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll look a little bit to the right here.
Or even just zoom past it, you know?
There's the coral.
There's the coral. Yeah, you can go ahead and push past it if you want there, Jeff.
I'm curious if that coral's going to make it to the surface in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
my money's
I
on.
have my doubts.
Not.
Yeah, but there's no space for it. Is that the case?
I do not know if that's the case.
I heard starboard by a box.
For the coral on the porch?
Well,
my suggestion would be to wait until we're close to done. If there's space, put it, stow it.
Especially if we have to move weights and things.
That will not stay there. Yeah.
Not in one piece, it won't.
Can see this interface on Argus cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
still looking for this article about DIVA's research.
I missed that for a second. Was that we didn't collect because of certain restrictions for?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve can jump in on this, but to do our work here in the monument, we obviously need a permit, and we were very specific about the kinds of materials we wanted to collect and what their purposes would be for. And that type of material is not necessarily called out as something that we might collect. And because it is a marine mammal related item, there would be special permitting related to that. So in order to honor that permit, as well as not run afoul of any potential issues, I think it's follow the precautionary principle and leave it be. For the same reason that, or in a similar reason why when we have seen some marine debris on the seafloor, we also have not picked that up because we did not explicitly discuss that. And removing marine debris in the monument is something that is widely discussed. And so we want to try to leave the seafloor in the way that we found it. Yes.
No funny faces, Jess.
We have some
I am so tempted to ask for another push core.
Third time's the charm.
I know. It just looks so inviting. Front row, how are we doing on ship's move? Is that even a feasibility to sit down and try?
So the ship has ceased its move.
Okay.
But Argus has about still another 50 or so meters to go. So.
Okay. Well, we'll keep going, and if it just keeps on looking like this, then when we get to that end where we're settling out, we might try.
So I'll hold off on any more moves. We'll just hold here.
Yeah, just for a few minutes, please.
Sure thing. What if we only make 12?
So Beth, just to put it, we have about 30, 40 minutes left.
Oh yeah, right.
So I'm not sure if we want to, what we want to prioritize, if we want to prioritize seeing more ground or a collection. And we might have success with it, but yeah. I wonder if these, if it'll be kind of similar to the last two, which had the nodules on top and pushed out any sediment that we had as a plug.
Yeah.
So I'm
considering we haven't gotten any sediment yet, I feel like